Welcome, everybody, to USC Sports Stadium on the Sunshine Coast. There's nothing but net media, the Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, Basketball Queensland, and, of course, our major sponsor, the Illume Group, present to you another Basketball Queensland QBL Game of the Week, this time featuring the University of Sunshine Coast Rip taking on the Toowoomba Mountaineers. I'm John Guarna, joined by my man Dave Derwin, and, of course, Regan Baker. Guys, should be a pretty exciting matchup. Both teams coming into tonight needing to win, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the Mountain Men, a couple of names there we haven't seen much of in the QBL, so that'll be interesting to see how they go. And struggling at 1-10 this year. And for the Rip, they've upgraded a little bit. They've got the likes of Jaron Jameson come into their program as well, and veteran big man and ex-NBN analyst Dan George has decided to lace up the boots again for the rest of the season. So it adds a little bit of muscle and intelligence to this group. And Jameson's obviously was one of the best imports running around last year. So add that to a pretty good Rip group, and they're probably pretty excited about where they're heading for the next little while.
I think they'd probably be disappointed with where they're at the moment, though, Regan. Toowoomba obviously probably disappointed in their record, but certainly not talent short.
No, definitely not. I mean, both teams, like you sort of said before, both teams have really come into this game, getting a couple of extra players on the board as well, and just really trying to finish off the season strong. And, even though they have come into tonight's game in round 11, I believe, with no wins so far, it doesn't mean that these teams aren't trying, and they've really gone out there. They've brought in some new players. They've, the likes of USC Rip City pulling in the big man, Dan George, out of retirement, and, what do we say, 6'9" or something along those lines. So just getting some big bodies out on the floor to really help them out defensively. And like you said, getting that intelligence on the floor and just showing their home side. And, for Toowoomba tuning in tonight as well, that, they may not have that win yet, but they're here to fight and they're here to finish off the season strong.
Yeah, they do have the one win, Regan. They're sitting at 1-10, but I think it's also an opportunity for them to bring in Daniel Sims. We talked about him off of air, Dave. Very talented guy, hasn't had an opportunity to see much of the court, so he's probably finding his way into the group, but a guy who can certainly add a bit of punch to a squad coming into the QBL.
Yeah, and equally, Ricardo Martin is the imports, had a good season for them this year too, as well, Johnny. So bit of a new look backcourt, and Sims brings a little athleticism to their group, and so it'll be interesting to see how they can finish off this season.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. The women for Toowoomba came in at the same position as the men do now. So I think if you see Toowoomba, you're going to expect to see a fight. They're going to come out. They're going to look to push the ball, probably look to try and scrap it up a little bit, get a couple easy ones, maybe put a bit of pressure on the Rip. But Rip have one of the best point guards in the competition in Izzy Tueta. Guy is, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how he didn't have an NBL gig last season. I hope that he has one again coming up this year. He's an NBL talent, and he's a great dude also. Looking forward to seeing him match up with Martin and Sims.
Yeah, I mean, the backcourt's going to be, really interesting.
Here's Martin. Immediately gets it outside. Three-pointer's good for Puzulic. Three nailed the lead. That was a good quick bucket there for Toowoomba. There's Jamerson inside for Josh Tueta to lay it in. Captain Weber gets it out to Sims. Working against Izzy Tueta. Foul on the floor. Going to give that one to Izzy Tueta. So Sims trying to barrel his way to the basket, gets fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Tueta not happy with it. The call, that is.
Sims misses the first.
The USC DJ has done a good job tonight for us here. Terrific venue.
One of two for Sims.
On the coast here, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't know what these guys call themselves
Gumby?
along the baseline.
Yeah,
Gumby. You got
Gumby.
Marshmallow. No, but they're a collective. There's a collective there.
Okay.
You wouldn't have had Gumby growing up in the States, would you, John?
Of course I would have. Of course I would have.
Well, there you go.
Of course. I knew who Gumby was. I meant the group.
They're probably the first-year engineering students or something here at USC.
Great drive and finish there from Tueta. Weber hits it plus the foul. Bit too aggressive on the defense there. Foul's called on Glover. Weber misses it, though. 7-4 the lead here for Toowoomba early.
Was Jameson, where was he, Johnny?
North Gold Coast.
No, but did he go down to the NBL 1? Is that where he was, or Darwin or something?
I'm not sure where he went after last season, to be fair. Izzy Tueta deep three off the front of the rim. Sims with the rebound. He's looking to push. Leaves his feet, no look, good. Pump fake. Puzelich blocked by Jamerson. He kicks ahead for Izzy Tueta. Tueta often, I don't understand.
At least here at USC, there's about 9,000 lines on the court, so I'll give you a little bit of. No, I'm not.
No.
You don't get a pass. Oral Roberts. Is that
Martin.
a D1 school, Johnny G? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jamerson through a lot of contact, gets called for the travel.
He's put up some good numbers so far. Bradley has 21 a game.
Yeah, I gotta. Where did
I think Cam T went.
Yeah,
there,
that's
right?
what I was gonna say. I thought Cam Trigar went to Oral Roberts as well. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
We'll have to check with Trigger as Bradley gets the steal, kicks ahead for Jamerson, puts it down with two hands.
He be Jamerson. Oh, you love that one, Johnny, didn't you? Another one.
With jamming?
He be jamming, son. Come on, that's not the first time that he's heard that for sure.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm sure someone else has thrown that dad joke out there at some point.
Yeah, it's okay. It's kids viewing, mate.
Josh Tueta goes to the left hand, misses. Good board, Puzelich.
Whoa.
Martin now passes well behind Martin. That's a turnover.
Well, they're going to have to do it with defense today. Johnny, Mountaineers, again, just lacking offensive firepower, so they're going to really have to control this pace. And, defensively, I think they're going to try and make this as slow and as long game as they can.
Puzelich lays it in. Too easy there for Toowoomba. They're up by 3. Bradley hits a long 2. Sims working into the paint. A lot of contact. Dumps it off for his big man. Spurgeon. Looks like it.
Whew.
That was a great block there by Jamerson.
Well, Spurgeon looks like he's got a bit of height.
Hey, he's a big boy.
Wow. 2 blocks.
Already for Jamerson. Chris Can checking in for Rip.
Townsville product. Had him on a Queensland group a few years ago.
He's in the corner for Rip. Izzy reverses it to Jamerson. Now Can has it inside for Tueta. Skip pass, nice ball movement here. Winds up with Izzy Tueta inside for Josh. He can't finish, but he'll go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Yeah, good patience for the Rip out of that horns action. Just nice spacing. Keep it simple. Tueta had a nice cut down the middle. All the way through, reverse the ball. Josh sealed. It's pretty simple hoops, but effective.
Josh Tueta at the free throw line hits the first one. Second one's good. Abraham Yak out there for Toowoomba. He's got it now on the wing. Inside, Martin goes right at the defense, misses. Tipped around. Martin recovers for Toowoomba. Tries to dump it off for Spurgeon. It's not there. Fight for the rebound.
Good little set for the Mountain men. But Martin just missed a baseline jump shot. Wall coming in for the Mountaineers.
Izzy Tuetta working against Yak. Jamerson has it. He'll fire at top of the key three. That's strong. I think Toowoomba will be happy with that if that's what Rip going to do. Just fire away from three.
Yeah.
Jamerson read that one well. Couldn't handle the steal, though. Goes out of bounds, so possession stays with Toowoomba. Toby Zaremba checks in. Rip are up by 3, 14-11. Now Sims has it looking for the screen. Hill goes away from it, fires the three. It's no good. Crystal Wall out there for Toowoomba. Jamerson keeping the dribble alive. They swing it to Ken in the corner. Has it stolen by Sims. Great hands there by Sims. He's pushing ahead. Goes right at the defense to bank it home. He misses. Wall misses, gets his own rebound, misses the second attempt. Tipped around, Martin grabs it for Toowoomba, and he's fouled.
Yeah, Wall frustrated, but did a good job on the glass, keeping the ball alive, and Martin doing a great job to grab it amongst Zaremba and Tweeder and earned himself a couple of free throws, or not.
I thought
Surely.
He would have. Martin's super active, isn't he?
No free throws. Okay.
There's Wall with it.
I think Wall was in Ipswich last season. Do you reckon, Johnny?
I think so. Martin drains a three. We're tied at 14.
Smooth looking Jimmy.
Yeah, they need Martin to get going. 14 all, 3:30 to go.
Yeah, he's been solid without being spectacular for them, averaging 13 and 4.
Izzy Tuetta for three is too strong. Josh grabs the rebound. Now Can is open from the wing. He'll fire the three, in and out. Toby Zaremba tips it home, though. I'll give a shout out to Max Orning on the YouTube channel. Rip, rip. We heard that a few times tonight. As Sims gets inside, he misses. He's fouled on his way to the basket. He's going to go to the line for a couple of shots. Daniel Sims will go to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Sims been pretty active, Dave. It's been a little while since we saw Sims on the court. Looking pretty energetic out there for Toowoomba.
Yeah, he hasn't played for a little while. I think he's coming off a suspension in this league or in previous leagues, which is why he's only debuted a couple games ago, I believe. And the Rip guys were signaling they were pretty happy with the defense, so they disagreed with the refs, but 2 free throws here for Sims.
He hits them both. Jamerson out to Bradley. He'll fire the wing three. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Bradley.
Yeah, the good old flare screen, Johnny. Very effective. You've seen the Pirates run it a couple times, or the Pirates have got it in some of their offense.
Fouls on the floor, no bucket there.
And I'll be running it all day for Bradley too. Defense got to make a decision how you're going to try and defend him, especially those guys that are lights out shooter. We used to run it a lot for Brendan Tees. Nate Nesler.
Shout out to Brendan Tees. Someone caught up with him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he was at the game.
looking quite fit, getting ready for another NBL season with Adelaide. Really happy for Teasy to see him returning to Adelaide.
Yeah, different looking roster for the Sixers, but hopefully they can get a good group together.
Hope so, too. There's a timeout taken on the floor. We're going to take a quick one as well. 2:47 to go in the first. It's a 3-point lead for the Rip over Toowoomba. And your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at USC Sports Stadium. Christo Wall at the free throw line for a couple shots. Hits the first one. Second one's good as well. Checking into the game for the first time this evening, our good friend and former co-commentator Dan George, number 15 for the Rip. Bradley will fire the wing three. Rebound, offensive rebound to Dan George. Goes right at the defense to lay it in with the left hand. Getting buckets already is our boy Thunder. To miss.
Yeah, Toowoomba's obviously got his challenges with his group, but guys like Zaramba and George are really in a position to eat him up for breakfast right now. You know, both really veteran guys, been around a long time, winners. And if right now in this group, you'd be looking for them to pump some stuff inside. High-low action with these two, both good flashing around the high post. You know, Zaramba likes it more around the rim where he's not as athletic as he used to be, but he's still got a great finish. And then guys like Dan George pop out to that high elbow jump shot, and that's cash.
Zaramba missed them both. Rip are up by 3, 21-18.
Little zone here, and Toowoomba with a careless turnover.
That one hurts. Yak lost it out of bounds. Izzy Tueta has it now, guarded by Sims.
Yeah, both groups have gone into their zone.
Bradley
you
from
probably
the
want
corner.
to guard him.
That's off. Here comes Makwach, lays it up and in, goes coast to coast.
Yeah, and that's what they need to do is for Toowoomba. They really want to be nice and quick.
Turnover there.
And Can's got to be patient.
Dan George had a
good seal.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seal.
You got to feed the big guy.
It's hard to come into a group and have a new player come into the group at this stage of the season, isn't it, Dave? Though, Dan's talented as Yak hits a three.
Yeah, yes and no though. I mean, it's not like big guys like Dan George, as an example, come in and need the ball per se. You know, they can still play a good role by defending and rebounding and then being in spots. And again, especially this post threat that he can be.
Zaremba missed. Here comes Yak with it. Good skip pass to Makwach, who will fire the baseline jumper. It's an air ball. Tueta gets it over to Bradley. Now back to Tueta, back to Bradley.
Pretty basketball.
Lays it up and in.
Pretty basketball.
Great basketball there. Great fast break. We're tied at 23. Yak's three is off. Wall offensive rebound. Goes right at the defense, lays it in. They're going to say the basket won't count. The foul go on Toby Zaremba.
Well, this...
I'm waiting for the flop warning.
Yeah.
Zaremba was going down before there was even contact.
Well, Wall's a big dude. play against him in GBL the last couple of years. He is a big guy. I was just going to say, you know, we haven't seen Bradley play much, but it's a pretty impressive 1-2-3 here, Johnny, assuming Jamison's sticking around. But of Toowoomba, Bradley, and Jamison as your 1-2-3, is there a better 1-2-3 in the league?
Oh, there's a few really good ones.
No, as in that three in the 1-2-3.
Oh, you're talking point guard, shooting guard, and 3-man. No, yeah, maybe not. Martin gets called for the foul. Fourth team foul on Toowoomba with 21 seconds to go. Bradley nearly stepped out. There's Zaremba with it. Now Izzy Tueta has it, goes to the rim. Dashes off for Dan George to put it up. Can't finish, but he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line for a couple of shots.
Well, you got to love Tueta unselfishly setting up his big man.
And those guys go back quite a while. They played together for the Spartans when Spartans were back in Siebel.
Well, I would probably say that's where Thunder's come out of retirement, via the Izzy Tueta relationship / recruiting, a.k.a. LeBron James.
Dan hits the first.
Defensively, Rip got to be better, though, in their zone. They've been a little shaky.
Second one no good for George. I definitely agree, though. I think it's very similar to the women's game in the fact that there hasn't been a lot of defense really played in this one, as Dan George grabs the rebound, gets it over to Bradley. He'll fire a court-to-court shot.
Well, it was the third wing open three, Johnny. So they've obviously got to clean that up in their rotations and talk in their zone.
Yeah, I think both coaches will be talking defense in this quarter time break. It is the quarter time. Just want to remind you before we go that there is a GoFundMe account for Narelle Kelly. Narelle, the longtime administrator here in basketball in Queensland, is really in for the fight of her life, and she needs everyone's help. So if you can go to GoFundMe website, search Get Narelle Well, and please make any contribution that you can. Every little bit counts to help Narelle in this fight for the fight of her life. So, like I said, visit GoFundMe, search Get Narelle Well, and please make any and all contributions. It is the end of the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the second quarter of action live for you here from the USC Sports Stadium and your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at USC Sports Stadium. It's getting ready for the start of the second quarter. Rip up by one, Dave, 24-23. If you're Coach Arausi or Coach Breen, what are you saying in the quarter-time break to your team?
Well, I think if I'm going to zone up as the Rip were, they got to move here, and they can't just post feed and leave him out on an island.
Dan George with the left hand. He wanted the end one, too.
He's absolutely capable of doing it, but they need better movement than that. Especially considering he's a good passer out of the block as well. When you're talking about a guy who played NBL, played overseas professionally, Siebel champion.
Siebel MVP.
MVP even, yeah.
Sims scores over George. Good floater there from Daniel Sims. Good response. Still a 1 point game.
And then defensively, as I said, they went to that zone, but just they need to improve their torque out of that zone.
Bradley fires a jumper that's wet. He's got a nice looking Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Toowoomba, they look a lot better when they're in pace. I mean, they've got to get stops and run out. That's what this group's going to be in order to manufacture some offense, because they just don't simply have the points in them. So they really need to try and get some stops offensively, be pests, and then run out of it.
Sims drains a three. He's starting to cook here. Gives Toowoomba down by three. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's tied up. That's what I thought. Late on the scoreboard. Izzy Tueta from the wing. Too strong. Wall grabs the rebound. He wants to run. And he's fouled by Jemerson. Good foul in transition. Dave, what do you think? I mean,
I don't know it was intentional, but it was a good foul.
Big fella was starting to pick up a bit of steam.
Big Wall. No? Yes. Wall. And they've come out of their zone. Probably a good thing because they gave a lot of open shots up.
Dan George read that one and comes up with the steal.
Well, it's a bad pass.
Thunder's been super active, getting a lot more minutes than he did last night. Here's Jemerson. Dumps it off for Dan George. Misses the layup.
Well, that's just a little bit of touch. Good pass from Jameson.
Great pass, yep. Sims misses the layup. Tipped around. Jemerson recovers for Rip. He kicks ahead for Izzy Tueta. Now Jemerson squares up, goes back door. Good ball movement. George out to Jemerson, driving baseline, floater up and down. Good hit there from Jerron Jemerson.
Probably see if he can squeeze another minute for George. He hasn't played for a long time, so he's certainly a bit gassed at the moment. But he's given him a good punch. Off the bench.
Good defense there. Nice step back, but it's missed. Long rebound goes to Rip. Tueta has it. Jemerson goes right at the defense and lays it in.
Too big, too strong. Really like the poise that he brings to the game.
Good defense there. Glover. Mitchell goes at the rim, lays it in, plus the foul. Foul called on Dan George. Coach Nathan Arasi is going to get a warning here.
Well, he's going pretty firm. He's about to probably get a tech if he doesn't calm down.
Dan George gets an ovation from his new teammates as he checks out after a few good minutes. Josh Tueta checks in. There is a timeout taken, though, on the floor, so we'll take one as well. 32-28 the lead for Rip over Toowoomba with 6:37 to go in the first half. The QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at USC Sports Stadium in Sippy Downs on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. It's a 2-point lead for the University of Sunshine Coast. Rip, Dave, I see you looking at the stats. What's jumping out at you at the moment?
Well, not a lot. I mean, there's not much in a 2-point game. The Rip have done a good job to open 51% from the floor. Toowoomba are 43%. So you know, for me, I think both teams have moved the ball quite well. I really like what Jameson and Toowoomba have done so far, just with their patience and poise offensively and calmness, I think is good. And they've got some young guys as well. So probably look at Toowoomba and Jameson being a little more selfish offensively, get them involved.
There's Jamerson now, gets it out to Izzy Toowoomba. Wing 3 is up.
Whoa,
off.
That did not look good out of the hand.
I think Makowach may have gotten a piece of that one as Bradley fires a baseline jumper that's short. Jamerson gets it, and he's swatted by Mitchell, and there's a travel. Great block there by William Mitchell, forcing the travel on Jaron Jameson.
Yeah, Rip doing a really good job on the O boards as well. They've pulled a couple of offensive rebounds. The last couple of plays anyway. I don't have the stats in front of me for the entire game, but good to see them crash those boards as well. And there's nothing you hate seeing more as a coach or, you know, or a spectator when you see, you know, long shots taken and no one crashing the boards to pull that O board.
Martin's baseline jumper's off.
There are 5 rigs, 5 for Rip, 4 offensive for Toowoomba. Rip a +3 on the total rebounds.
Foul called against Jalen Bradley on that one. 3 team fouls on the Rip, none so far on Toowoomba in the quarter. Under 6 left to go in the first half. It's a 2-point game.
I think that's just been good intensity from the Rip, though. I don't think it's necessarily been that, you know, the foul count isn't accurate of what's going on or, you know, referees aren't calling correctly. I think they're doing a great job, and I think,
puts it down, does Jamerson. Nice hoop there from Izzy Toowoomba. Jaron Jamerson skies for the 2-hand slam. Sims stops and pops, gets it to fall. Offensive foul called. And there's a technical foul called. I don't
he's
know.
got to check that's, you know, whatever it is, the smack talk, and again, can't do it.
No, he was definitely letting Izzy know about the call. Coach Breen not happy about that whistle. That's a pretty quick tee, to be fair. You know, obviously you don't know what was said on the floor, but
it's all about the, I guess the act, right, rigs these days. So, you know, you can't jump up and get in someone's face like that.
it depends on the intent of the action as well. Because realistically, like if it was just a player having somewhat of a dig at the referee, but not swearing or not being too overt or anything like that, you tend to try and let those ones go and have a warning.
And it was at the player. Like
exactly.
It wasn't at a referee.
And that's when you do jump on it straight away. If they're directing abuse or smart-assy attitude or whatever it may be towards another player, that's when you do jump on it straight away, because otherwise it escalates, and next thing you know, you've got, you know, a bit of a brawl on your hands or a chesty up or anything like that. So, look, quick decision from referee Guy, but at the same time, without having heard what was said from a referee's perspective sitting back here, I think it's probably a fair decision.
Weber in the corner fires a 3 off the side of the rim. Toowoomba grabs a rebound.
That corner 3 has not been kind so far for the Mountain men. They've missed every 3 from that corner.
And another offensive foul called on Izzy Toowoomba. I think that's going to be his 3rd personal.
Mountaineers on the side.
Can't see the card that they're holding up. Yeah, it is 3rd for the 3rd one for Izzy Toowoomba.
And he was pretty dirty about it. I think what he's saying is there's a whole lot of holding and grabbing going on.
Coach Arasi gonna ride with Izzy Toowoomba out there with 3 personal fouls. Team up 3. If you're at Toowoomba, you got to go right at Toowoomba, don't you? As Martin misses a jump shot.
Well, you do, and equally, he's a pretty clever defender as well. So
Jamerson rips baseline, loses it.
Good hands from Weber.
It's gonna be a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Toowoomba. The captain for Toowoomba, forcing the turnover.
Offensively, the Rip got A little funky here in the second quarter. Not much happening.
Good show there by Josh Toowoomba. There's Wall working against Josh, goes to the baseline, puts a shot up, and banks it home. Cresta Wall, he's looked pretty good in his minutes for Toowoomba tonight.
Yeah, he played a little bit with Ipswich last year, Johnny. I've seen him at GBL over the years.
Bradley.
Running around, and yeah, he's a talented guy.
Bradley's jumper is beautiful. Weber misses. Here comes Bradley.
Oh, there he is. Good seal.
Look. And Toowoomba hits it.
Textbook basketball. Toowoomba does a great job. Rim run, seal, and Bradley does a really good job unselfishly of hitting the big guy.
Got to feed the big man if you got it. Whistle on the floor, goes against Jamerson. It's the 15th foul against Rip, so that's going to be some free throws.
And a timeout.
Timeout taken on the floor. We're going to take one as well. 3:19 to go in the first half. Rip up 6, 40-34. New QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Jaron Jamerson is going to send Ricardo Martin to the free throw line for a couple shots with Rip in the penalty.
Little Nelson on the foul line. You gotta love a little Nelson on the foul line action.
Gotta love it for sure. Martin goes 1 of 2.
An okay crowd here, Johnny, for what I would consider one of the better venues in Queensland. So to encourage all the Sunny Coast faithful to get out and support the Rip. We're
Bradley.
back. We're coming back.
Oh, we're definitely back. We got a few more games.
Two in the next 3, right?
2 of the next, well, 3 of the next 4 if you include tonight.
There you go.
Nice jump shot there. Dane Glover. Big bucket there for young Glover. Nice look inside. Wall wasn't ready for it. He's swatted from behind by Jamerson.
Yeah,
Ball's going to stay with Toowoomba.
Good help from Toowoomba. Jamerson thinks he's the Tumbo tonight.
Yeah, he's.
Is it his 4th?
I think it's his 3rd or 4th.
At least 3, right?
Nice steal there from Bradley. Kicks ahead for Jamerson to go up and lay it in.
Remember, he had a nice throwdown at Spartans last year. Late, we covered him late.
Wall blocked again by Jamerson, but they're going to get him for the foul. He cannot believe the call.
I don't know. I think that was just a bit of a silly one on his behalf. From where I was, at least, he definitely clipped him on the arm.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, either rip his arms off or let him go. Either or, right? I mean, and that's his 3rd, so surely he's going to check out. And for I did give some love to that 1-2-3 backcourt for the Rip, and 2 of that 3 have got 3 fouls. So interesting.
Krista Wall goes 1 of 2. Jamerson defensive rebound.
Jameson looks like he's got a little Kawhi Leonard mitts to him. He looks like he holds that ball like a tennis ball.
Bradley inside, dumps it off for Jamerson to lay it in. They've got a really nice combo considering they've only been playing together for a short period of time.
Offensive.
As Martin gets called for the charge.
Great job.
Yeah, really great call as well.
It was a good call. Haig, one of the senior cats running around, right, Riggs, in this QBL?
Yeah, absolutely. Jason was one of the guys that sort of I grew up in the QBL season when I started. It's probably about 12 years ago now that I started my QBL career when I was 16 years old. So, and yeah, Jason, one of the guys that showed me the ropes. One of my first ever QBL games with old Jace.
He showed me some ropes too. Some ropes I probably didn't like. Couple calls here. Maybe a T or two.
It's a pretty veteran crew that you have out there on the referee crew tonight, though. Bradley from the corner. That's off.
That one.
Foul inside.
Well, this is an interesting little period here for Toowoomba because they've got young Spurgeon who's going to try and guard George, and he's got a little bit of height to him. I know he's going to guard Tueta here.
Hey, if you're a rip, you got to.
I think they're going to zone up here. And they do a bad job of it, M1.
Great finish there from Tueta. That's Josh Tueta finding the bucket. Plus the foul on Crystal Wall.
Well, Wall didn't know if they were a man or if they were zoned out of there, and it tells. Tueta going for the three-point play.
Josh Tueta pushes the lead out to 14 for the Rip. 1:30 to go in the first half. Bradley very active. He's raised the defense pretty well.
Yeah, he shoots the gap and almost has the steal. Little predictable from the Mountain Men so far offensively. And Rip have done a good job to hold him to 36.
Sims with it now. Goes to the right. Challenged at the rim by George, who misses. Josh Tueta, though, dribbles it off the foot of Glover out of bounds.
Got to give a shout out to our good man Paul Foster, tuning in from Townsville as always.
Big Fuzz, what's cracking?
Offensive foul called on Toby Zaremba there. Well, defensive foul, I should say, sending Daniel Sims to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Oh, sorry, that was Tom Cordwell.
Yeah, for the Rip, Johnny, as we head into the half here.
George foul Sims, looking for the block.
I don't know what I think they're talking about it on sport, whatever it is, the new language, Riggs. What's it? Unnecessary contact.
Yeah, the 5. I can't remember the exact terminology, but there's 5 new conditions for unsportsmanlike fouls, and that is classified as one of them. So yeah, they're just going to give it as heavy contact. So even though he was playing at the ball, it's classified as heavy contact because of the resulting hitting of the floor from Sims.
So you want to stop people from diving, but you're going to call an unsportsmanlike when they dive on the floor.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm not saying that was the case, but on one hand, you say as referees, you want to try, you have this flopping warning and that kind of thing, but a call like that encourages people to hit the floor because you could get an unsportsmanlike called against your opponent.
Yeah, as in you mean wave your hands and legs around.
Flail or fall, whatever it is.
It was just, I mean, for me, I'm not saying the referees are wrong. I just think it's a good foul.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't intentional. Like, I believe that they would have called it the way they did based on the level of contact. I definitely don't think it was anything to do with intention from... did go against Dan George, didn't it, in the end? Yeah, I definitely don't think it was intention. It was just the level of contact is what they deemed it to be.
The big man running the floor. Wall missed that one. Caldwell gets inside, no look pass. Glover, 3 is up and down. Dane is gloving that corner 3. Sims nearly lost it, recovers. Kicks it. 3 is up. Puzlic misses.
Wow, Puzlic, he gets rid of that ball really quickly and sort of lacks a bit of a traditional follow-through on that shot, but he hit his first one, but he's missed a couple since then.
Rip gonna hold for the final shot of the half, up by 15. Bradley kicks it, Glover has it, back to Bradley. Inside pass, Tueta, it's tipped and recovered by Sims. He's gotta get a shot off, he throws it up. It looked okay from the angle we were at, but it wasn't close, and that's the end of the first half. 53-38 the lead for the Rip going into the break, and very similar again to the women's game. Toowoomba was hanging around in that first quarter. Rip had the dominance in that second, probably not nearly as much as the Rip women had in the third, but still pushing the lead out to double figures. A pretty impressive 15-point lead.
Yeah, and some of those young Rip guys have got to learn that when I got guys like Tueta and George in the block, like you got to feed them, right? Even if they don't get a scoring opportunity, it's great post touch, which then allows the defense to collapse. And some of these younger Rip guys are running around a little crazy, looking for shooting threes and stuff, but they got to kick it back a bit to the old school, again, traditional hoops of getting post touches, because you'll get your open 3 and you'll get your lanes out of it when the defense collapse. And especially when you've got guys like Tueta and George and Zaramba, really tough, experienced front court. So, but doable learning for some of those young guys on the Rip. Good start for them, and I'd be pretty happy with a 15-point lead.
Yeah, and it was a pretty decent start for Toowoomba, but it felt like the well ran dry there in that second quarter. Somebody put a bit of a lid on that rim on the other end for Toowoomba.
Yeah, definitely. So I just think, realistically, it came down to their shooting percentage. They were still getting a lot of touches. They were still doing a really great job of driving into the keyway as well. And, their keyway touches for shots is probably quite high. So, look, Toowoomba's done a lot of good things really well. Their offense has been okay. They just haven't managed to get the points from it as well. And, and they've gone to the line quite a lot of times in that second quarter in particular as well. Rip's defense, they just kept losing players underneath. So there was a lot of times where Toowoomba was going inside and, going to the bucket, and the Rip guys were just too late to get there. So they were a little bit late on, and we saw it with that one from Jameson where he sort of had that little bit of a conversation about the foul. And, they've just got to get themselves in front. They've just got to have confidence in their defense and get there. And, Toowoomba, look, they can easily get themselves back in this game. We saw it with the women. They fought their way back in, that fourth quarter. So, look, still anyone's game, but both teams doing a lot of things right. Just a few things here to tweak here and there.
Well, we talked about the post, Johnny. 30-12 is the points in the paint differential. So, and we talked about that being a big advantage for the Rip, and they've done a good job of capitalising so far, and a pretty good variety in their offense too. I think plenty of scorers. Glover's come in and hit a 3 as well, so good signs for the Rip as they head to the break.
Yeah, it's an excellent sign for the Rip, and Toowoomba has a bit of work to do at the halftime, down 15. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some statistics and the second half of action here on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media, Australian Sports Network, Stream Team Australia, of course, Basketball Queensland, and our major sponsor, the Illume Group. Back with you here at USC Sports Stadium on Sippy Downs on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. John Guarna with Dave Derwin and Regan Baker here. The Rip guys up by 15 at the halftime break. Dave, I know you got your eyes on some of the out-of-town stuff. What's happening in some other QBL action out there?
Well, Ipswich could be mad because they were up 5 with 40 seconds to go, and now they're down 1.
According to live stats, we're not. We don't have the game, so we're just following it on live stats like everyone else out there, probably.
97-96. Caps have regained the lead with 8 seconds to go. So
you know what? Actually, that one would probably be on Facebook. My guy Ryan Taylor has definitely been streaming a lot of the Ipswich games, so maybe have a quick look on Facebook and check out the Ipswich Force to see if you can get down to that exciting game. We just refreshed it. It says it's 97-96, so a 1-point game with under 10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Not telling you to tune out because I know you guys love us, but please definitely check that one out. That's going to be an awesome finish. It is halftime here, and it's a 15-point lead for the Rip. I know you're looking at the stats, and we talked a little bit about it before we left for the halftime break. Rip a little more well-balanced, a little more seasoned in that first half.
Yeah, they were, and it's going to be really interesting here for the Mountain men to see what they've got in this first 3 minutes, because for the Rip, Toowoomba and Jamison both got 3 fouls. And so, they pick up a 4th. That's kind of interesting. But if they can keep this 15-point bumper, I think they're going to be okay. But really, it's an all-or-nothing few minutes, I think, to start this third quarter for the Mountain crew.
Oh, just holding things up a bit. Got to give a shout-out to our guy, Dan George. Looked pretty good that first half, too. I know, he's our boy. We're going to give him some love, but I think deservedly, too. I thought he was pretty good in his minutes in that first half.
I think we just got to get the hashtag George Gets Boards trending on Twitter and Facebook if we can.
I think he's more interested in Rip getting wins. Oh.
Josh Toowoomba gets called for the travel, shuffled his feet along the baseline there.
Yeah, Spurgeon's done a pretty good job. The box score is not going to, set the world on fire, but I think he's done a good job of having a bit of a presence, moving his feet, putting his body in the right position. I'd like to see him want the ball a little bit more, move around with his mitts up.
Sims goes away from the screen from Spurgeon. Now Martin on the baseline, fires a jump shot. It's too strong. Just Toowoomba's really late in getting into their offense, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of. And part of it might be that they want to be slow offensively, but
I've never heard, Dave, of a team since the 1990s try and play slow.
I think for what Ipswich has offensively, and from a talent point of view, they just want to.
Toowoomba, right?
Sorry, Toowoomba.
Yeah, okay,
sorry. They don't want to have a 110 Brisbane Caps pace game. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think they're happy having an 82
to me, that first half, that's when they looked at their best, playing with pace and pushing the ball in transition.
Well, I think if trans is on, then absolutely they need to be racehorses. But if it's not on, then they need to be a little patient.
Nice follow there.
Big
to Spurgeon. The big fella gets it up and puts it down with the 2 hands. Got to give a shout out to Logan Thunder, women's head coach Braden Hesselhurst, checking in on the YouTube channel.
I don't think he's too far off with his request either. Put a mic on Dan George while he's down on the floor. They do it in the cricket. They give some of the boys a microphone while they're out playing. Why can't we get
BQ funding? We'll have a look at it for next year, Braden. Good idea.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we can do.
We'll put it in the budget.
I've got a wireless mic kit at home. We can get that set up.
Yeah. Well,
Reeks, come on, work with him, mate.
I don't know if he's talking a lot of smack from the baseline as Jamerson lays it in, plus the foul.
He did. We could have saw him for a minute there at halftime, and he sort of said the old body, the warm up on the bench. It's not like it used to be.
Yeah, you see him stretching out along the baseline there, so got to take care of the rig. Nice, really nice rip move there from Jamerson. I think Spurgeon was looking for some help, and there was just no one else there for him.
Yeah, and just Spurgeon's obviously young, but that's where he needs to move his feet and wall up in that cylinder, because you get a little bit of freedom in that cylinder, and especially with his length, I think he could be a really effective defender.
He moves pretty well for a big fella. Nice pass for Glover to lay it in. Izzy Toowoomba put it on a platter for Glover. Sims double teamed. Gets away from the double team, dribbles it off his foot out of bounds.
Kicks it out of bounds.
58-40 the lead here for Rip. About 2 minutes into the second half. You got an update on the Ipswich Caps score for us, Dave?
Oh, I forgot all about that, Johnny. I did predict an Ipswich win. I just wanted to say, put that on the record. I may or may not be right now because looks like Caps came out and got the lead and looks like they held on.
Bradley hits a nice bucket, and it does look like the Brisbane Capitals sneak home with a 1-point win in Ipswich.
Now, just be clear, I'm not on any illicit substances. They have no Volkman for a month and no Magne for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
So they're a little
nice finish there from the big fella again, Spurgeon.
A little light in the front court, which is why I thought they might have a bit of a struggle. But they did a good job because, as I said, they were down 5 with 40 seconds to go.
What did Harvey put on the board this week after his massive effort the other weekend, Southwest?
35 and 19.
Handy.
Fair night's work. But for Kadee and Anderson, surprise, surprise. I think Anderson's hit the game-winning shots because I think he had 25 last I looked and he finished with 31. Kadee's 36 and Anderson 31. So, as you'd imagine, the two studs for them got them home.
Yeah, like I said to you, definitely have a look at the Ipswich Forest QBL Facebook page because I know Ryan Taylor has been streaming all the home games, so
oh, come on, man.
Probably could go back and at the very least watch the exciting finish to that one.
Bradley, again, out of bounds.
Let's be fair. I see purple from here. I see a black line.
No,
I see a blue.
Black's the hoops color here.
Sims has it on the wing. Reverses it to Yak. Yak throws one up and gets it to fall. Abraham Yak with the acrobatic bucket. Josh Toowoomba from the top of the key, short on the three.
Well, they've had that look at the last couple times, and for Toowoomba, I think they're pretty happy with Toowoomba shooting threes.
Sims out of control, loses it. Now Bradley goes behind his back to Glover. Left-hand layup is good.
Martin, nice take. Right to the chest of the big dog. Here comes 2-on-2, Jameson.
Oh, Izzy Toowoomba couldn't keep his hands on that one. Bradley inside for Josh Toowoomba, flips it up and in.
Pretty scrappy. I think Toowoomba might need to have a quick timeout.
Martin from the elbow.
Try and get a little more structure offensively.
That one's in and out. Now Bradley has it. Stops and pops. Off the front of the rim. Josh Toowoomba, offensive rebound. Put back, no good. There's Daniel Sims with the defensive rebound. Fouled hard by Josh Toowoomba, and if I got to believe they're going to give him an unsportsmanlike on that one. That was a hard foul. Yeah, there it is.
Definitely agree with that one a lot more than I did the first one.
I think
big contact.
I think
big grab of the arm.
That's
2-2 for Sims. Toowoomba have possession of it. After the unsportsmanlike. Ken nearly came up with that steal. Here's Weber for three off the front of the rim.
Well, the Toowoomba shot selection has been poor in this third quarter.
Glover gets it out to Josh Toowoomba, top of the key three off the front of the rim again. Gets his own rebound. Putback is up. No good, but he's fouled.
Yeah, good job from Glover too. Nice penetration, feet in the paint. Come to a jump stop, reverse pivot.
He's been pretty good, the young fella, in his minutes tonight.
He has been good.
Josh Toowoomba short on everything really here in the second half. Hasn't really found his legs again, has he?
I'm a big Toowoomba fan. I think he's a really good player. But his three doesn't even look like going in tonight, unfortunately.
Misses them both. Here comes Martin with the head of steam. Goes right at the defense.
Oh, it's a travel.
Offensive foul.
Or an offensive foul, yeah. Either way, it was definitely one or the other.
Yeah, good D. And again, Johnny, so Spurgeon, he needs to watch that, and that's what he needs to learn to do, right? Move your feet, take the contact on the chest, wall up.
Joseph Johnson checks in for the first time tonight for Toowoomba.
And just back on that call as well, something I want to talk about, like, it's a great decision from Jackie Dover, and I think the one thing that really stands out with me about that call is the contact from the offensive player wasn't enough to push the defense over. But the thing is, he was still trying to push his way through the player, and even though the defensive player was bigger and in front and didn't heavily get pushed out of the way, you still can't let offensive players do that. So just all around, great call, despite the fact that there was no, stupid falling over, flailing around.
Is that 12?
Yeah.
What was the foul there? I was going to say, they're racking up the fouls right now. They're in the bonus. I didn't see the foul, Riggs, on the play just then?
I actually didn't, to be honest.
I was just inside. I think it was from Josh Toowoomba battling for position. And I think it was a hold on Toowoomba.
Have a look at my action replay, maybe.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not going to let me do it.
Was it on Wall, I think? Must have been Wall.
It is the 15th foul against Toowoomba, sending Toowoomba to the free throw line for a couple shots. Missed that one. Second one is good, though. Johnson working against Toowoomba in the block. Good defense from Toowoomba. Hands by Bradley. Sims has it. Working against a double team. Gonna have to fire a wild one. It's up and off the back of the rim. Jemerson one-handed rebound. Can has it on the wing. Now Jemerson, top of the key. He'll fire a three. That's good for Jaron Jemerson. Leads out to 20 for the Rip. Under 4 minutes to go in the third. Yak and air ball. Wall puts it back up and in.
Air ball or assist?
We'll give him the dime. Good hands there from Mitchell. Yak Neely saved it.
Yeah, good job of Mitchell disrupting that.
Zaremba checks in. Josh Toowoomba gets a breather. This is one of my all-time favorite songs. I don't care what anyone says. Good baseline drive. Bradley with the touch pass. Zaremba missed a couple times. Then he's fouled from behind by Mitchell.
Yeah, they've done a good job of sharing the ball tonight. The Rip. Really
Bradley's been impressive too, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been good.
He's got a really nice soft touch on his pass. Good vision.
Yeah, unselfish for sure.
Timeout taken on the floor. We'll take one as well. 3:25 to go in the third. Rip up 18 on Toowoomba in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at USC Sports Stadium. It's the Rip up on Toowoomba, 68-50, 3:25 to go in this one. Toowoomba trying their best to get themselves back into it. It seems like every time they get a little bit of momentum, they give it right back.
And then they've only got 3 minutes to put up with here in this third around the penalty situation, but Zaramba hits it first. Interesting little group here for the Rip now. If, Jameson, assuming he sticks around. Decent front court, decent guards, little experience, bit of youth. James Griffin isn't in tonight. I think I saw him with his arm in a sling, so maybe he's out for a little bit or not. He's a Southern Districts junior that just came back from college basketball as well, so he's a decent athlete, 6'4". He's been okay for them as well. I think he's averaged, I had it written down before. Yeah, he's averaging 7.5 and 4.5 rebounds, and fitting himself into a new group. So, the Rip, if they keep on working hard and playing together, then lots of good things here for the Rip.
Good follow there for Ken. Cresto Wall catches it deep inside, battling with Zaremba. He finishes through the contact and gets the foul call. He's a big boy, that Cresto Wall.
Yeah, Wall's a big body, all right.
Where would you measure him at? 6'7"? 6'6"?
Yeah, he's probably about that. I'm just trying to think. He's easy 6'7", yeah.
Yeah. Haven't heard this one in a while either. This guy, pretty good music selection here tonight.
Yeah, good tunes.
Three-pointers up off the back of the rim for Johnson. Tipped out of bounds off the hands of Mitchell. Now Rip going to have possession.
Sorry, I just lost his name there. Mitchell's done a good job of poking our way for some balls in the post opportunities, Johnny.
He's been very active. Tuetta throws it up. Jamerson catches and finishes. The bench was looking for another yam. Didn't happen that time. Cresto Wall going against Toby Zaremba. Forces one up, misses, tipped around. Jamerson has it. Kicks ahead for Bradley. Reverse layup, good. 23 the lead now for Rip. Sims swings it. Yak will fire from three. Off the side of the rim, it's tipped around. Wall tips it in.
Well, Jameson, Wall, don't know. It's going to go to Wall.
Yak comes up with the steal. Gets it back. Then it's poked away by Bradley, who gets called for the reach-in foul. Third team foul in the quarter for the Rip. Jordan Bigar checks in for Toowoomba. Sims on the wing, gets the screen from Wall. Johnson driving baseline, pump fakes, flips it up, no good. Jamerson, another rebound. Nice spin move, and Jamerson lays it in.
Too good.
Wall will fire the wing three. That's good, Cresto Wall. He's been pretty solid tonight.
Yeah, he has been good.
Izzy Tuetta from the wing. Can't get that one to fall. Sims with the rebound. There's under 30 left in the quarter. It's a 20-point lead for Rip as Sims fires a three and hits. Toowoomba goes inside. Jemerson triple teamed. Sims comes up with the steal. And he's fouled by Can. A lot of talking going on out there. Oh, this is your favorite, Dave. As Johnson can't beat the buzzer. So at the end of the quarter, it's a 17-point lead for USC over Toowoomba, 78-61. And again, I thought Toowoomba had their moments there, but just really unable to get themselves over the hump, Dave.
Yeah, they were. And if you look at it, it's a +2 to the Rip. And to be frank, if Coach Nate wants this team to be legit, they've got to be better than that. They got to be better than a +2 against this Toowoomba group that's sitting 1-10.
Yep.
And I think defensively is where they need to be better. Allowing 23 points, that's just for me, for the pace of the game where it was a really relatively slow third quarter, they just need to be better. And then offensively, they were okay, but equally, I think shot selection was a little questionable from both groups in that third quarter. So, but it was, again, you've got to give Toowoomba a bit of credit. They're hanging in there and they're fighting and they're doing whatever they can.
Yep, and the Rip aren't going to let them back into this one. If you're a Rip fan, you hope they're not going to let them back into this one. Rip probably a little casual there, but we'll see what adjustments are made at the quarter-time break. We'll take a quick one. We'll come back with the final quarter of action here. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at USC Sports Stadium. With 17-point lead.
You're down with a discount, Johnny.
Classic. I know you're down with OPP, Dave.
I try. Let's see for the Rip fans if they can do a better job. That's offensive. Let's see if for the Rip. I think I'd be really challenging this group. An 18-point quarter is what I want out of you boys, max. And again, for them, you want to get out in trans and run because the Rip have done a good job in transition tonight. Some of the prettiest basketball we've seen this season with the ball barely hitting the floor in transition. And but defensively is where they need to get better.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I think, as you said, they coming off of home final last year, Rip's expectations were quite high. I don't think they're at where they want to be at this point in the season, but the finals are still in sight.
Yeah.
But you want to make noise in the finals when you get there.
Well, you do, and they're 1-3 in the last 4. They've had, I'd consider that an average loss to Spartans, who are pretty low on the ladder. They lost by 13 last night. They lost to Brisbane. They lost, and the third was Logan. So I mean, Brisbane fair, okay, they're number 1 on the ladder, and Logan's probably top 5, I think, still, Johnny, or no? But again, they're 1-4 and they're 1-3 in the last 4, so they got to get back to a winning record. Nice action to get the tray.
Great hit there from Bradley. Nice pass from Toowoomba.
Tuetta's got great vision, and
Spurgeon goes right at the defense. George gets the defense going. Now they go straight ahead to Jemerson.
Clock didn't work.
Couple of clock issues. Good
James,
contest by our good friend Dan George on the other end.
he's where the big dude needs to be, right in the split line, walling up.
Just held his ground, didn't
Yeah.
leave his feet. Straight up.
Good no call. Rip come away with the rebound. I know it's tough, but I'd like to see more of the Rip Juniors getting out to these games too, Johnny. Not a whole lot of juniors, and that's what we need to.
Nice block from Spurgeon.
That's what we need to breed is the next generation of hoopers, and they get inspired by they coming and seeing this good quality of competition.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Dave. Love to see more juniors at all the games.
Especially at this facility, is terrific, where they could have 1,000 people here, no problem.
Yeah, we know that the Sunshine Coast Lightning play their netball here. They're quite often sold out, so
yeah,
there's certainly appetite for sport here up on the Sunshine Coast. Twitter draws a foul from Yak.
Yeah, it's a little somewhat disappointing that they haven't tried to get a bigger venue because
George with the left-handed hook shot.
Yeah.
I know that's your shot right there. I know you love that one.
Yeah, textbook. Great move. Again, feel the D. And he's done a good job too, George, today of challenging shots. Obviously, he's not the shot blocker that he once was, but he's certainly still a big unit. It's a great spin. Oh.
Jamerson fouled on the jam attempt.
And what I was just about to start, Johnny, was this facility at 3,000 is obviously terrific. But, geez, I wish they could get it at 5,000 and make it a dual purpose, because I think an NBL program up here would be terrific for the region. And the NBL needs to keep on expanding. And I think you can run a profitable business as long as you had at least 5,000 seats.
Yeah,
especially in these community models where your costs are a little lower and you can negotiate a little better with sponsors and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's a great growth region as well, and so I'd love to see a facility up here that could house an NBL team.
Is a good point in the Facebook comments, though, from Ryan Lowe's. It is school holidays, so a lot of people may be away for the holidays.
Yeah.
So, good point. As Twitter reads that one, comes up with the steal, goes right at the defense, misses.
That'll be M1.
They're going to count the bucket on the goaltend plus the foul. Izzy Twitter has been solid as always tonight. Lead is out to 27 now for Rip. So you wanted them to put the foot down here in the fourth, Dave, and I think they're doing that so far.
Yeah, well, I think
2 minutes in.
They certainly would have been challenged because they needed to be.
Spurgeon will fire from the wing. That's off. Bradley has it. Dumps off for Tuetta. Touch pass Jamerson ahead to George to lay it up and in. Good hesitation there from Dan George. Thunder. Where's the hammer, brother?
Oh.
Jamerson nearly stole that one on the sideline there. And I think one thing, when we saw Jamerson last year, granted it was towards the end of the year, and we only did see him in that one game. But one thing that surprised me about his game here tonight is his vision and his touch. He's got a really nice soft touch, particularly on the passes. I think we've seen him throw a couple really nice touch passes.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that. As you say, we've only seen a sample size of one. But, he's certainly an all-around player, that's for sure.
Weber flips it up and in. Bit of a big lineup here for the Rip with Josh Tuetta and Dan George on the floor with Jamerson, Bradley, and Izzy Tuetta. Dan George has it, fires the jump shot. It's wet. Good answer there from Yak. Puts in a 3. Trading buckets, though, isn't going to do it here for Toowoomba. They're down by 24. Bradley's open. He'll fire the 3. That's good.
Well, we asked for a little bit of defense, Johnny, and I think that's over now as it's quickly turned into garbage time.
Karen Weber, 3. That's good. Weber's been banging 3s in the QBL for a long time. He's got a sweet Jimmy.
I think it'll be a youth movement from the RIP pretty soon.
Jamerson, corner 3 is up. That's good. 98-71 the lead. 5:45 to go in this one. That one's off from Big R. Here's Jamerson working against the D. Flips it up, no good. Gets his own miss. Misses that one. Second, third one's off as well.
He's just Moses Maloning it up here.
Paying the stats.
Cam Trigger special right there.
I'm sending that sound clip to Trig right after this game.
He knows it.
We're going to see. Hopefully he'll come down next weekend. We do have Rockhampton at Southwest.
We do.
I'm going to play that for him live.
That'll be good. We can put him on the mic.
Yeah, get him on the mic, play it in real time.
I'll have to hit him up and see if he's going to make the trip down.
He'll probably try and charge us for his time and
hey,
come on, Trig.
Yeah, what's his going NBL rate for commentary? I don't think we can quite afford that in the QBL budget.
I doubt it.
It's not the NBL, mate.
Martin drains a 3.
It's all love here. All love.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't come down, though, if the opportunity is there. His family's still around in Brisbane. I know he always catches up with his family when he's down here for Bullets games. So, nice look, nice touch pass, but definitely a foul as Bigger in great position. Oh, sorry, no, that was Johnson picking up the offensive foul.
I mean, have you ever seen Izzy has 3 offensive fouls tonight?
Timeout going to be taken on the floor, so we're going to take one as well. We're under 5 minutes to go in this one. It's a 24-point lead for the RIP over Toowoomba in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you at the USC Sports Stadium on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. 5 minutes to go in this one. 98-74 the lead. Sims picks it up, swings it to Weber. Now inside, Ricardo Martin goes right to the rim, lays it in, plus the foul. Got great position on Tueta and a really nice seal on the drive to the baseline.
Yeah, and he's been, what would I say, Johnny? A bit hot, cold for Martin?
He's had good moments,
yeah,
but pretty quiet overall, I would say.
Yeah, 11 points, 5 turnovers, 3 rebounds.
That might have been the 5th for Josh Tueta. So Zaremba is going to check back in.
We gave Wall a bit of love, 17 and 10 off the bench.
Not bad.
Solid.
Yeah, he's pretty much leading the way for Toowoomba. Sims also has 17, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. So pretty nice numbers there for Daniel Sims as well. Where's our boy Dan George at? He's been killing it.
11 and 5.
He just got his 6th. Martin comes up with the steal. The open court's ahead of him. Goes up and puts it down with one hand. Glover working against Sims. Keeps the dribble alive, picks it up, now looks inside, nearly turns it over. It is a turnover. Good recovery there by Martin.
Bad pass. Young fella, watch the tape. Keep a live dribble, be patient.
Sims getting to the rim to lay it in, plus the foul. Good take there from Daniel Sims. Cuts the deficit to 18, 4 minutes to go. Not saying
What was
it's over.
What was the third quarter, Johnny?
Because there's still plenty of time left in this one, Dave. Few turnovers
60.
here like we've seen the last few possessions. Couple easy buckets.
61. So 17-point quarter. +3 for the Rip.
Jamerson looking inside. It's not there. Zaremba has it. Back to Jamerson. Splits the defense. Dumps off for George to lay it in.
I don't think you were far off, Johnny. Like, you know, Toowoomba wasn't completely out of it. 18 points seems like a lot, but then, you know, when they're not playing defense that intensely, and they were just trading buckets for a solid 3.5 minutes there in the middle of the quarter. So, you know, you can't do that when you're down this far. You just can't trade buckets and just slack off on defense and, you know, not put in that intensity, try and get the stops, and then get the ball, then, you know, get your buckets down the other end.
Well, Sims has been getting buckets here today. He just finished another N1 opportunity. So he'll go to the free throw line for the three-point play chance.
And 5 teams fouls for the Rip now as well.
It's a 16-point game. I mean, they have to get a couple stops, like you said, Regan. It's not over, but they just haven't shown the ability to get stops as Glover's 3 is off. Offensive rebound is stolen by Weber. It's a 3-on-1. Weber dumps it off for Martin to put it down again with one hand. And this is not the finish, the Rip we're looking for, Dave.
No, not on the 7-0 run. That's for sure.
Weber nearly stole it from Jamerson. Jamerson gets inside again, dumps it off for Dan George, fires the jumper, it's short. Weber rebound, Martin kicks ahead. And then we get a nice easy layup there for Wall, and enough is enough as Coach Nathan Arousey going to have to burn a timeout with 2:40 to go. His team is up by 13. He went to the bench, went to the youth movement. It's kind of come back to backfire on him a bit. He's going to have to reinsert, I think, Izzy, Tueta, and Bradley probably.
Yeah, these are the locker rooms where you in theory we're up a lot and you're going to win well, right? In theory. But you've taken all the polish off the win right now as he's going to go give him an uppercut. And then you saw Jameson, he's fuming. So the vibe isn't solid 30-point win against Toowoomba. The vibe is we mucked around. We should have won by 30. We ended up winning by, let's be generous and say it's somewhere between 10 and 15 to the team that's 1-10, and we should have smacked them. And so then, you know, hopefully that's the conversation anyway, because if they're trying to be championship contenders, they better be angry with this performance in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and how do you go into that huddle though, Dave? Are you lighting into the boys now, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were lighting a fire under their butts. They just let a massive lead go,
well,
and it's no longer a set victory. Like, they could well and truly lose this.
They could, for sure.
Well,
There's 2:40 left,
well,
and
again,
it's a 12-point game.
Like I said, I would have given them an 18-point challenge. Now they've allowed 27 with 3 minutes or 2.5 to go. They get a couple buckets, they might put 30 on you in the fourth. So, you know, it really takes the polish off a pretty solid all-round performance from the Rip. And for Toowoomba, you know, again, credit to them, they keep on fighting.
Well, Toowoomba comes out in a full-court press as well. They're going to look to force some turnovers here. Jamerson is fouled by Weber. That is the
Two
looks
shots,
like it looks like the 15th foul. So it's going to send Jamerson to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, it's not what you want if you're Toowoomba. In the backcourt, down by 12, you don't really want to send them to the line at that point in time.
They did a reasonable, everyone knew the trap was going to come, obviously. But, again, you just got to play good defense without your hands. And then hope that you've got some help up the court with the rotations of that press to try and get the steal. And all you're going to do is give Jameson 2 more shots. Yeah, Jameson's 27, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Pretty solid.
Not bad. One of 2. Wall gets down the court to lay it in. And not giving up. It's a 12-point lead for Rip.
11, Johnny?
Sorry, 11.
Yeah, 11. Yeah, they had the score wrong before going into that timeout, so only 11 points the difference. So really is anyone's game. If Toowoomba gets another stop here and gets buckets down the other end.
There you go.
Good look for Twede, misses. Martin gets it. Sims has it now. We're approaching the 2-minute mark, an 11-point game. Johnson fires a 3 that's off. Wall grabs an offensive rebound out to Weber, fires a 3. That's off. Dan George with the rebound. Those were a couple big buckets that Toowoomba missed there. They needed one of those to fall.
Yeah.
Zaremba hands off for Jamerson. Now Bradley, wing 3 up and down. That gives the Rip a bit more of breathing room. They're up 14. Sims gets to the rim to lay it in. There's a foul on Sims, so Twede will go to the free throw line. Now you feel a little more comfortable being up 12 with the minute 17, but
yeah, that could be the seal.
Again, you looking at the stats here, and Dave, this is the question I have for you. Today's game.
Why did they call a timeout? Is that your question?
No.
Yeah, okay.
But it is a good question though.
Yeah.
You have to be able to shoot the 3-point shot, right? You have to. That's just the way that the game is now. You get 3 points for a shot, but I feel like there's been way too many 3-point shots for Toowoomba. They're not really shooting at a great clip, but it's still a decent 35%.
Yeah.
But you'd like to see a few more of those fall, obviously. And similarly, Rip have probably shot a similar clip, haven't they?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you're settling. It's one thing to be looking for the shot and to be running a play for it, but settling for the 3-point shot. And a lot of those are really early in the shot clock, no pass kind of thing, or one pass.
Yeah.
That's I think that's a place where some of the teams, and I think particularly tonight, where we see both teams struggled with the 3-pointer.
Well, I think Toowoomba's last in 3-point field goal percentage. I think it was 29%. So they're traditionally not a very good 3-point shooting team anyway. So I have to agree, do they deserve to be shooting 35 or 38 threes? Probably not. And then the Rips selection was, at times, pretty decent. But, equally, Izzy shot 0-7 from downtown. That's not going to happen too many times.
And a few of them were open, too, wide open.
Yeah. So, but I agree with your point. I mean, just because the NBA now loads up on threes doesn't mean that it's the way you play basketball. I think if you have a look at the NBL, I think the NBL is still staying sort of a little bit true to its Australian style, and so it's not 3 or die, I think. And unlike the NBA, where Houston shot more 3s than 2s for the first time in NBA history, I think, this season. I mean, for me, if you can't shoot it, as in a decent clip, then you shouldn't be shooting it.
Martin rattles home a jump shot.
I don't know whether you'll agree with this or not, Dave, but I think that comes down to poor coaching as well in some regards, because we've seen it a couple of times, throughout our streams this season where, teams are relying on the 3-point shot. And we've seen teams that I won't name throw up 40 or 53 points in a game, and that just comes down to the fact that they don't have an offensive structure. So that comes down to whether it be a lack of talent or a lack of coaching ability. I'm not really too sure. I don't have that background. But, if you're throwing up 53s in a game and hitting sub 30%, that's just there's no structure.
No.
Zaremba got his own miss and laid it in. That's definitely going to seal the deal here for a Rip win. And, Dave, there was times where Rip looked really good, but I think overall when Coach Arausi and the team goes back and looks at the film, they're going to find a few chinks in the armor, I guess, and there's definitely a few areas for improvement. And I think particularly it'll be on the defensive end. To give up 94, 90-plus points today, I think would be something that Coach Arausi would be very unhappy about.
I think so. And offensively, I think that time, for most of the game, they were very good. I think they shared the ball really well, really unselfish. And I'm not sure what we're waiting on here. But I think offensively they were a lot better. I think I only saw the box score last night, but but they lost pretty convincingly to Spartans.
Yeah, and for Toowoomba, I think I was pretty impressed. I mean, with what I saw from Toowoomba, I think.
I mean, let's be fair. If we talk about salary cap trying to concepts, Johnny, they don't have the horses other teams do. That's for sure, right?
That's right, and I think it's something where we see a lot of familiar faces throughout the Toowoomba roster that we have seen for a few years, but I think this group is a group that has an opportunity to grow together, and there is a lot of potential there to form that solid foundation that Toowoomba has kind of struggled with the last few years. And I think if you can keep a group like this together, there is that potential to grow together.
No, I think so too. I think there's a lot of good signs with their makeup, and they keep on working hard and improving. Then I think they're a really good team that can contend.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It was a fight to the end. I think it was a lot more interesting in the fourth quarter than I certainly thought it was going to be, and I think the Rip would probably echo those thoughts as well. But it's a 112-94 win for the Rip over Toowoomba. Let's go through some of the stats before we wrap things up for you.
Well, while Dave's pulling those up, I think USC, they're going to come out of this really happy with their 3 quarters of basketball. They'll go into the sheds, and it's something they'll work on during the week. But I think on all ends from Rip, they'd be really unhappy with that fourth quarter and letting Toowoomba, just let themselves back into that little bit, let them chip at the heels. So if I'm Rip, that's what I'm looking at is, not just assuming that you're going to get the victory and losing sight, but Toowoomba, really positive sights out there as well, and they do have a really great group, and if they can continue to grow and develop, they will have a great future as well. So
yeah, I thought for Toowoomba, like we said, Crystal Wall was really good.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the young fellow Spurgeon. I thought Ranko Puzalevich, sorry if I just butchered that, but he had a couple of decent little moments too, and you keep a young group like that together, you add a few pieces here and there, you continue to grow that kind of juniors group like we talk about with all associations, and I think you got a making of a pretty solid foundation.
Yeah. Just finishing up, so Easy Tueta, 10 points, 10 assists, couple of steals. Glover, the youngster, had 10 and 2. Jameson finished with 28, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Josh Tueta, 12 and 9. And Bradley was, pretty good. 29 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Better than pretty good. Plus a plus-minus of 34. So he was obviously pretty good. Zaremba was good off the bench, as was Dan George. 13 and 7 for George, and Zaremba had 8 and 5. So pretty handy when you get 21 and 12 off your big guy off the combined big guy off the bench. Nice little punch.
Yeah, it was a really pretty good balance there for Rip. And if I'll take a quick look, I gave you some of the stats for Toowoomba leading the way for the Mountaineers. Daniel Sims finished with 25 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, also had 5 steals. He was a +5 for them, so pretty positive outing for Sims. Ricardo Martin finishes with 19 points, 5 rebounds, but also had 5 turnovers. And then Crestel Wall, he was excellent. Like we said, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 8 of them offensive. You get a guy coming in off the bench giving you 21 points and 8 offensive rebounds. I think anybody would be happy with that. But outside of those 3, no one else was in double digits, and that's something that Toowoomba, has struggled with is scoring the ball this season. But I think overall they'd be it was a good performance. It was a good win for the Rip. Hopefully they could build a bit of momentum off of this one. And Toowoomba, I think when they go back and watch this tape, they'll take some positives out of it as well. But obviously a bit of work to do on both ends of the court for both of these teams. Just a quick final thought before we wrap things up. Regan, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, look, great job from Rip, and it's going to be really great to see their future grow as Dan George stands out on the floor and just stares us down. Yeah, look, great things ahead for Rip. If they can keep playing the way they came out and played tonight with that amount of energy, they'll continue to get a couple of wins later into the season as well. Toowoomba, look, great signs, really great team. Wall, really impressive coming off the bench, 21 points. He was probably my favourite player out on the floor tonight for Toowoomba. So, yeah, just really great game, and I think, like I said, if I'm Rip, I'm just looking at that fourth quarter and not letting Toowoomba score, or,
Forget
30
it.
points.
Wipe it out of your memory.
Yeah.
Dave, quick one?
Quick one. Good win for the Rip. And where we at next week? Pirates.
Yeah, we're at the Pirate Ship for the QBL Game of the Week next weekend. So we're there next Sunday. You've got the women's game will tip at 1 p.m., followed by the men's game at 3 p.m. Obviously, Rockhampton traveling down here, kind of getting themselves back together. They're
they got their full squad now.
Yeah.
Nelson Carla's in, and the two Americans. So they got a good group. Sean Bruce.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of good games. Don't forget
Big Nasty Penny Nasalo back to the ship.
Yeah, don't forget to tune in to the game next weekend. And also, don't forget, guys, please, if you can, visit the GoFundMe website and search Get Narelle Well. Narelle Kelly, the longtime administrator here in Basketball Queensland, is really in the fight of her life at the moment, and any help that you can contribute will go a long way. Please visit GoFundMe and search Get Narelle Well. That is going to wrap it up for us here. For myself, John Guarna, for my co-commentators, Dave Derwin, Regan Baker, the cameraman, Chris Sieber, and James Bowman, and the Australian Sports Network down in Sydney. Thank you guys for tuning in to another presentation of the Basketball Queensland QBL Game of the Week. We'll see you next week.